Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the series, The Hearts of Healthcare Professionals, Rebalance and Renew Your Resilience. And today I have a most intriguing speaker, Michael Parise. And Michael, I say he's intriguing because as we were getting to know each other, I asked about his journey to being a life coach. And he said, well, we both kind of had a similar background in that we went a biology route. I wanted to be a dentist. And then I became a priest. That's right. You heard me. I just kind of stopped and said, well, now that's an unusual path. And then from there, after 32 years in the priesthood, he has been a life coach now of his own business, Michael Parise Life Coaching, for over 10 years. And Michael is an author. I just learned he's also an artist. He works with veterans and mentors high school students. So he is a jack of all trades. But what makes his background so perfect for his discussion today on personal fulfillment is because of his priesthood, he knows people. He knows all age groups. He knows personal victories. He knows personal struggles that people go through. He sees them come through to the other side. He knows relationships. He knows struggles with relationships and also the joys that goes with relationships, as well as losses and how people will go through those events in their life as well. So Michael has a wealth of information and knowledge, and he's just perfect today to bring us this topic on personal fulfillment. So with that, Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you and just take notes.
Thank you, Diane. It's great to be with you and with your audience today. I want to talk about the true meaning of personal fulfillment. A lot of people, including the dictionary, tells you that personal fulfillment is a measure of what we do, what we accomplish, what we enact, what we perform. So, for example, having a marriage and children and grandchildren is personally fulfilling for a lot of people. The concrete evidence is the spouse and those little kitties. Careers and jobs are personally fulfilling. Why? Not only because of the interaction at the job, but because of that paycheck. Academic, athletic achievement, those types of things are personally fulfilling because of competition and winning and feeling as if you are at the top of your game. But all of them have to do with being or doing rather than being. They have to do with activity. They have to do with something concrete. So I would like to say that personal fulfillment actually has nothing to do with these milestones, as important as they are. Personal fulfillment has to begin somewhere else and has to continue somewhere else. Those other things are important, don't get me wrong, but they aren't the heart of personal fulfillment. So that's what I want to talk about today. The true meaning of personal fulfillment has 3 elements. First, it is identifying and living out of your core values. Second, personal fulfillment is the maintaining of healthy relationships, communication, and boundaries in your life. And third, personal fulfillment has to do with being a visionary. So notice that these 3 meanings of personal fulfillment have to do with being rather than doing. That's what I'm all about as a coach. It's great to choose what to do, but who you are, how you show up, is going to affect directly the end result of what you do. Therefore, being precedes anything that you do. So let's briefly address each one of these. The first element, personal fulfillment, is identifying and living out of core values. What are core values? Core values are what we are willing to die for. They define who we are as persons, what we think is important in our existence, and what we look for in other people. Core values are such concepts as love, faith, sobriety, commitment, justice, reliability, honesty, compassion, empathy, relationship, loyalty. Now notice most of those have nothing to do with doing. They have to do with being. Those core values actually make you the unique and wonderful person you are, as well as many others you could name. So core values are the foundation of personal fulfillment. They define how we choose to show up in the world as the best version of ourselves. They define our ethics, they define the choices we make, and they define the way in which we treat other people. Those are the things that undergird or are foundational to what we do. The second element of the idea of personal fulfillment is maintaining healthy healthy relationships, communication, and healthy boundaries. So we humans are unique in our ability to form healthy relationships that foster and grow our core values and induce a sense of personal fulfillment. Now, in the animal kingdom, we see there are healthy relationships that are fostered, but they're not necessarily to grow core values. They're instinctive. They are what holds groups of animals together when they live as tribes or as families. We think of elephants and chimpanzees and others. But they don't have the freedom of choice to have a set of core values. They're there to survive. We humans are unique. We're able to induce personal fulfillment by healthy relationships with people. And there's a lot having to do with relationships that I could talk about, but not right now. There's so much in terms of dysfunctional relationships that cut into our sense of personal fulfillment that we need to heal and repair over time. Relationships, therefore, are for the sole purpose of collaborating to make the world a better place. Why do we have a relationship with anybody? Not only do we like them, but why do we like them? Because chances are they hold some or all of our core values as their own. And we have enough in common with them that we can then go into an enterprise of changing the world to be a better place. We can work together and produce those concrete kinds of fulfillments as a community. So we maintain healthy relationships through effective communication, which begins with active listening, non-judgment, and unconditionally lifting up other people. Healthy relationships show us how to maintain good emotional boundaries, whereby we protect ourselves from those who intentionally or unintentionally harm us. There are many people out here listening to me and in the world who are children of emotional neglect. There also, some of them are abused, bullied, taken advantage of. These are resulting from unhealthy relationships. And so their boundaries are not always as tight and as clean as they need to be. And it is up to them and us to heal one another and respect those boundaries so that we're not stepping on each other's toes every time we're doing something or saying something on an emotional level and on a relational level. For example, narcissists, emotional vampires, addicted or abusive people, emotionally neglectful individuals, many, many other categories. They may need our help at times, and we want to be helpful, but only if they do not overstep our boundaries. And I'm saying this very clearly to those of us who do not have clear boundaries and who allow people to take advantage of us. I love the term emotional vampires because there are some who are listening who are sucked dry by people who are using them as therapists without pay, or as people who are supposed to be filling a role to help them, but with no limitations. Personal fulfillment in our relationships must begin with our own relationship to ourselves as the most important gift God has given us. Do I have to repeat that? You are more important than your spouse, than your children, than your parents. You are more important than grandma and grandpa. You're more important than your boss and your colleagues, because you have to take care of yourself first, and then everything else flows from there. But there has to be an internal decision that you matter, that you are enough, and that you are important enough to be taken care of by yourself. Don't look for other people to take care of you. My book is all about rescuing yourself. You've got to be your own best rescuer. Which brings us to the third element, being visionaries. Being a visionary doesn't mean you're sitting in a room with incense, although it's a nice idea, and candles, those are nice too, and kind of going off into some space, some place in your mind. That's important though. Being a visionary, though, what I'm talking about here is that have a vision of how we can make the world a better place for everyone. Have a vision for how you can make the world a better place. It's something that you say, well, I'm just little old me, I can't do everything. No, you can't, but you can do something to go in that direction. Every tiny step we take adds up and creates synergy with the rest of the world. Second, being a visionary means it's living out of our vision on purpose in the present moment. In other words, we make a decision to carry our vision with us and enact it every time we open our mouth, every time we walk towards someone to help them, every time we do whatever we do in our profession, even if it's to sit there and you're maybe an accountant. You can be a visionary while you're doing your accounting because you're making a difference in someone's life by doing it well. And being a visionary finally means focusing on our values, those core values, focusing on our relationships and making them better by our healthy and mature reaction and response to relationships, and the vision that we're making our lives truly fulfilling. So personal fulfillment is pretty simple. 3 elements. Make them part of your life. Identify and live out of your core values. Maintain healthy relationships, communication, and boundaries. And be a visionary. The world is starving for visionaries, starving for people with ideals that they're going to live out and make other people's lives just as fulfilling as a result. So thank you so much.
Oh, Michael, I wrote so much, so many powerful points, and I just never even thought about, even though I do visionary work as you described it, I never even thought about it as something that I do. And imagine if I become intentional and try to do it even more because now I'm aware of it. That's such a powerful point. So much. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. You know, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did Michael's words. And he actually has a gift for you. And Michael, I'm going to let you tell about this gift and where they can find you. And there'll be a link right below this video that you can just click and it'll take you right to where Michael's telling you. But Michael, take that part away.
Sure, Diane. I would love to give each one of you not only this outline, if you'd like to have it, so you don't have to worry about having taken notes. It's right in front of you, so I can email that to you. But I would like to email you in a special way an exclusive article that I've written on the next steps we should be taking after the COVID-19 virus. Where do we go from here? So that article is only for people who have listened to this broadcast and for a select few others. It's not going to be on my blog. It's not going to be a regular thing that people are going to be able to take advantage of. So you can, by simply going to my website, which is www.mparise, P-A-R-I-S-E, mpariselifecoach.com. www.mpariselifecoach.com, and then click on Contact Michael. My email is probably down below anyway. You could just use it and email me, and I'll send this material to you as Word documents.
Perfect.
So feel free.
And if I'm not mistaken, Michael, your artwork, if you all notice the beautiful pictures in the background, Michael actually painted those, and you also have others on your website. Is that correct?
Yes, I have a portfolio of about 125 or so paintings that you can look at and enjoy. And there's a link right at the top of my website for my artwork.
Right. And then you have a book that you want to mention that as well?
Well, yes, I'll even hold it up.
Oh, there you go.
There, it's called Life Interrupted, Taking Charge After Everything Has Changed. It's available on Amazon.com. It's about rescuing yourself, and it offers you a bunch of resources that you have that you may not notice that you can use to become more fully yourself. It's also semi-autobiographical, so it tells you a little bit about my life and how I ended up here.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, Michael, thank you again so much. I know our listeners enjoyed it. Thank you.